22-year-old Keisha Saunders is suing her former co-worker, 23-year-old Michelle Clore, for having her falsely arrested for vandalizing her car.
All rise. Guys, case number 506 on the calendar in the matter of Saunders versus Clore.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Ms. Saunders, it's your claim that the defendant had you falsely arrested for vandalizing her car and you want damages.
Yes.
How do you know each other?
We used to work together at a telemarketing place in Redondo
When
Beach.
did you work together?
It was 2009 from July till September.
Who worked there first?
The defendant.
When you went to work there, did you have any difficulty with her?
Yes. Actually, my second day of working, she had just came back from vacation, and she had started arguments and problems since that day.
Well, describe it to me.
She was sitting across from where I was sitting, and she would sit there and look at me like trying to interrogate me or something, like giving me like an evil look, kind of. And then also, she would go around. There was a big incident that started at work. I was warming up food for lunch. Something accidentally overspilled, and she took it all out of proportion.
Well,
she
explain to me how she took it all out of proportion. You were heating something up, it spilled over, and?
Yeah, so she made a big scene. She was like, you need to come in here and clean this up. This is not how we do things around here. Made a whole big ordeal. I was like, I didn't know.
What happened? You didn't clean up the mess that was made?
I didn't know it was a mess made. I just took it out. We only had 15 minutes for lunch, so I just took it out and we just went to go eat. I didn't even double check. I said, it's no problem. I'm grown. I clean up after myself. So I went to go clean it up, and then she was still talking and nagging. I just let it go. People at work who had been working there before me told me the kind of person she was.
You can't tell me what anybody told you.
Okay.
Now tell me when you were arrested.
It was September the 9th, 2009.
Had you ever been arrested before?
No, never.
You were arrested at work?
Yes.
And you were arrested for vandalism. How long did you stay in jail?
For 4 days and 3 nights.
What was your bail?
It was originally $50,000, and the judge dropped it to $10,000.
And what was the charge?
It was a felony count of vandalism.
And you had never been arrested before?
I've never been in any kind of problems with the law before.
Okay. Are you still working at the same place?
No, ma'am.
Are you?
No.
When did you leave?
When I went to jail, she had a restraining order put against me while I was in jail, so I couldn't return to work. I got fired because going to jail.
So around the beginning of September?
Yes.
And when did you leave, Ms. Clore?
November.
Where did you go?
I just quit completely because I had moved at the time and I didn't want her to follow me home again.
Okay. Tell me when your car was vandalized.
It was on August 8th. I woke up and getting ready to go to work. I was running late that morning, and I noticed that my car had been vandalized.
How?
It was scratched just from one side of the car, on the back of the trunk, and all up the passenger side as well. Mm-hmm. My first reaction, I didn't know what to do, but then luckily I found the note that was put on my windshield wiper. It was a Post-it note from a woman named Mary Smith.
Mary Smith?
Yes.
And where did Mary Smith live?
As far as I know, she lived out of town up north. It says here that she was in Atascadero, California, but she was visiting some family in the area.
What's the name of the family?
I don't know.
I'd like to see the police report since you didn't witness anything that happened.
I also have photos.
Who picked up Miss Smith to go down to the police station?
I did.
Where did you pick her up from, Miss
Where
Clore?
my car was parked when she witnessed the event.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how that all came about.
I called her on the phone.
You called her at the number that you say was on this note
Yes.
that she left you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you called her and she lived out of the area.
She was in town visiting some friends, or her family.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that must have been in your neighborhood.
Yes, I'm guessing.
You're guessing. Where was your car vandalized?
I was parked on around the corner from my house on
So close to your house.
Yeah. I don't know if you want me to continue.
No, I want to ask my own questions.
No problem.
So instead of picking her up, because after all, she was being a good Samaritan, this woman, you agreed to meet at the place where your car had been vandalized.
Yes, ma'am.
So that she could accompany you to the police station.
Yes, ma'am.
And she accompanied you to the police station, this woman who you never met before, this really good Samaritan, whose sister's name, who she was visiting, and with whom she was in the car, it says name unknown. And you certainly don't know where she was staying because of this convenient, I'll meet you by my car. You get where I'm going?
Not really, Your Honor.
We're going to get there soon. And then Smith said she saw somebody who matches the description of the plaintiff keying your car. And she took down the license plate number. And then Smith said she left a note on your car. And when the officer ran the license plate number, turned out to be her car. Okay. Now, you got a restraining order. She spent a couple of days in jail. It's my understanding that you didn't appear at any of the 3 hearings that was set in this case. Is that right?
No, I did appear at one. I was subpoenaed to court.
You were subpoenaed?
Yes.
Well, before you were subpoenaed to court by the district attorney, did not the district attorney ask you to appear at hearings?
Yes.
And did you appear at those hearings?
I appeared at one that I was subpoenaed to.
That's not my question. How many hearings were you asked to appear at?
Just the one.
Just one. Did Mary Smith appear at the hearing?
No.
Did you call her?
No.
Why not?
Because the detective advised me not to be in contact with her.
Why not? Here's somebody who was so interested. She, according to what I've read, left you a note, met you, went down to the police precinct with you, told them the story about what she allegedly saw, gave an email address to the detective at some point when he asked for it so that he could do a photo lineup from her driver's license, which at this point they had because she had been identified through her driver's license. She did all of those things, but she never appeared at the trial. And you never called her.
No, ma'am.
Well, I think I'm going to try to call her.
She said that she moved out of the country. I don't know.
Mary Smith doesn't move out of the country. And a 59-year-old Mary Smith doesn't move out of the country.
I don't know, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Keisha Saunders says former co-worker Michelle Clore had her falsely arrested for vandalizing her car. She is suing for $5,000.
Hello, this is Judge Judy Sheindlin. Who am I speaking to? Linda Watt. Can you tell me, please, how you know Michelle Clore? You don't. Can you tell me in what town you live? You live in Wyoming. Do you know somebody by the name of Mary Smith? She had your cell phone number as of a few months ago. Well, how long have you had this phone number? Person who answered that cell phone number that was given here, his name's not Mary Smith. Shouldn't want to tell me how long she had this phone number because it's only a few months old. She says she lives in Wyoming. So it's odd that the person whose cell phone number is on this police report, not out of the country, lives in Wyoming, and hung up on me when I asked how long you had the phone number. All that's very odd, Miss Clore.
I agree.
Very odd. When things are odd, I find that suspect. Very suspect. Now, you told the police that in the past she had threatened you at work. Tell me about that.
She had mentioned that...
No, don't look over there. Look over here.
Sorry. She had mentioned that before that she was going to fight me after work, that she carries a box.
Tell me what she said. Did she say, I'm going to fight you after work? Nobody says that.
No.
Doesn't sound normal.
She was speaking to another coworker, and she said, F that white B, and...
Just a minute. And you heard this?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what was that about?
I'm not
It
sure.
had to happen over something. She may have said it, but it had to happen over something.
as far as I know, it all started when I asked her to clean her mess out of the microwave. That wasn't just the first time that it happened. It continued to happen.
But she was a slob. She was a slob.
She
I mean, if
wouldn't
it's
clean
what
up
you're
after
saying is
herself,
true,
yes.
she was a slob.
Yes, ma'am.
And anybody who opens up a microwave and takes out their stuff could see whether or not they've spilled it and it's overflowed or not.
Yes, ma'am.
And it just is somebody who's not caring and not respectful of other people who are using the machine. I agree with you. I actually agree with you. And I don't believe the story that you didn't know if you were in a rush, you only had 15 minutes and you didn't see that it was messy inside. I don't believe that, but that's not urgent. So after it all started over that, because she didn't clean up her mess, you must have said something to her.
No, I never said anything to her until the next day she approached me and she told me that she didn't like the way that I spoke to her.
Well, tell me, if she didn't like, so you're telling me that you didn't say anything to her?
Not other than I asked her to clean her mess out.
Well,
of the
tell me what you said to her.
I put a napkin in the microwave and I said, Keisha, can you please clean your mess?
Is that what she said to you?
No.
No, I don't believe that. I do. You have anything you want to say to me? Yes or no? No. I didn't think so. I don't believe this whole story about a witness.
I'm sorry.
I don't believe it. I don't believe there was a witness. I believe your car got keyed. I don't think you keyed your own car, because that would have been stupid for you to key your own car. But I don't think there was a witness, because it doesn't make sense.
I agree
What
with
you're
you.
telling me doesn't make sense. That you were able to contact the witness at the same phone number that I just called. The witness's name is not Mary Smith, but some other name.
I don't know, Your Honor.
I don't know either. And if I don't know, it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense to me, it's not true. And since more evidence than not suggests to me that you concocted this story with this person who just hung up on me because I started to ask some very pointed questions, it appears more likely than not that I'm going to find in the plaintiff's favor for false arrest. That's what I think. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all. Step out.
Thank you, Your Honor.